Good morning, Service Alliance community. How y'all doing today? Happy Monday.
Good morning.
I know I used that joke on Tuesday. I've been on like almost every day this week. I only got
That's
so many
impressive.
jokes in my repertoire.
Well, it is Friday, so that is something to be happy about after the week we've
Indeed.
had. Like I am really just grateful that it's coming to an end.
Good morning, Adam. Good morning, Jose. Good to see you brothers on. I'm home today. We are blizzarding in
Really?
Chicagoland. Yes, yes,
How
yes.
cool. We don't
Um,
see snow anymore.
my
Hardly
wife
ever.
got up at right around 4 o'clock to go into work, and 4:30 she comes back in and goes, "It dumped like 2 inches in half an hour. I'm not going to work."
Wow.
Good on you. Stay home.
Oh,
Let's
yeah.
let's relax.
Safety is a priority. Safety is a thing.
Yeah, the biggest part of today
So,
is it's not going to be a ton of snow dumping. I mean, it's going to be they're shooting for 6 inches is what they're thinking. But it's going to be when the wind picks up in a little bit. It's like 40, 50 mile an hour wind. So
yeah, we had some pretty serious wind the other day. I don't know if I don't think it's the same system that's hitting you guys right now, but it
no,
came
we
up
you
up the
got
east.
what we had.
Yeah,
You're behind us
like
by a little
that's what
bit.
I'm saying. Like it doesn't go that way. It goes this way
Yeah.
from your direction. But it was so bad that the there was a tree that fell on our fig tree, so we're kind of sad. We got to take that out of there and hope that our fig tree lived.
Uh, yeah. See,
I know.
Adam gets more than me. He gets that northern lake effect nightmare. Good luck to you, Youpers up there. Uh, not my style. I can deal without the snow, but my kid's happy and my dog's happy. So you know, there's that. You wanna go ahead and give us a scripture, and I'll
Sure.
pray us in, and then we'll really get into just dive into today's topic.
Okay, that sounds great. So I chose Ephesians chapter 4, verse 15 this morning, and it's pretty short, but it's pretty important. But speaking the truth in love may grow up in all things into him who is the head, Christ. So basically, calling us not to just say what we really mean and be very clear and truthful in our communications, but also to do it with kindness and love, the way that Christ would want us to do that. So that is going to be very relevant to our topic today.
Indeed, indeed, yeah. So we're continuing the customer experience topic this week, rounding out the week with clear communication, setting the expectations. And those things are so important. And so if you're out there and you're watching, you have things that you do to help clarify communication. Go ahead and bring your stories. Jenny has a story for us today too, but I will pray us in, and then we can dive on in. So,
Awesome.
dear Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for this chance to gather together on Friday as we come to the end of a hard work week. We are just so grateful for your grace in our lives. We are grateful for the many things, the many blessings that you bring to our lives. And Father, even the hard times, the bad stuff that happens throughout the day, Father, and throughout the week, you use that for your good. And so, Father, we just thank you for those lessons as well. Pray you bless the conversation and just be with everyone today. Those like myself experiencing a little bit of a blizzard. We pray for safe travels and safety of our families and teams. Pray this all in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Zach.
Yeah. So Jenny has a great story of what happens when things are not clearly communicated. I'm going to let you just kick it
Yeah.
off with the story so we can
Well,
get
I
into it.
will. So it's been a heck of a week for us. It just seems like one thing after another was just kind of weighing on us and not going right. And just energy from other people around us hasn't been great. But one of the things that we are dealing with this week, we have a new technician. We are getting out on the road. And one of the things we all have to do when that happens is get your truck lettered.
Mhm.
So we had our first truck lettered a couple of years ago. They did a really great job, but that place I don't think the same person is working there anymore. So we decided to try out a different place. And we sent them the art that we had from the first truck. We have a different kind of truck this time. We emailed their person. Their person said we asked for a proof of the work. They did not send us a proof of the work. They said, it's fine. We'll use what you gave us and it's all good. Don't worry. And so then they put on the stuff on our truck, and within about a week, it was kind of bubbling and peeling off, and it just wasn't looking good.
I gotta say, red flag number one, no proof like that.
Yep.
Nope, I'm out.
But we were like, okay, whatever, like we should have also like this is going to be part of the story is we should have asked for clarity also as a customer, but we're their customer and they told us it was fine. So the workmanship wasn't good. We brought it back. They did offer to do it again, and I wasn't comfortable with it because I was not confident in the job they did. So I just said, let's get it taken off. So Joe happened to be the guy that went and dealt with it. And he said to them exactly what we all talked about as a team, that we wanted them to take it off. We just didn't, we just were going to take it somewhere else. So our technician went and stayed with the truck yesterday. And while they were taking the stuff off of it and he was there hanging out, waiting for the truck, they were telling our technician that we cost them $2,000. They were really upset. They felt like we were cheating them, I guess, and that they're never going to do business with Joe again. And so it was really like he felt bad. He didn't feel good about it. Joe felt like kind of offended or upset that somebody would not want to work with him when they didn't do a very good job. So we, Shelby and I sat there and listened, and so did Joe. We listened to all the conversations on all of the calls that we had with them on our phone system to kind of figure out what happened. She did say, don't do anything without a proof, without sending us a proof. And then when we showed up, they said, oh, it's fine. So, so there was a lot of miscommunication. And then one interesting thing that we heard when we were listening to the recording is that he said, well, I already did the sign at your business for free. And I didn't realize that he had done that, but he had done a poor job on that as well. The colors weren't matching. So he came and fixed it, and then he never charged us for it. Totally slipped my mind. But also that wasn't communicated to us. And so it was awkward. The whole thing could have been prevented with a clear contract, a clear proof, and really clear communication about exactly what was happening and what they were doing and what we expected. So the lesson was that communication and a contract, even though people feel weird about contracts and agreements because they feel sometimes like it's too legal and it's not friendly. But to be honest, a contract is probably the friendliest thing you can do in any situation because it clearly defines all of the expectations on both sides, what you're getting, what you're paying, all the things. So it ended up working out. And I called and I said, look, my husband was the one that came and dealt with this, but he's not the jerk. Like we all decided as a team that we wanted you to take it off, but we have a reputation in our community, and I don't want anybody thinking that we're ripping off a business. And so one of the things we noticed, I told him we listened to all the recordings. One of the things we noticed was that you mentioned that you did the sign for free, and we don't want you to do that for free. So I'm very happy to pay you for that. And, but we weren't happy with the workmanship. And so then he said, well, I was in my feelings this morning. I shouldn't have said the things I said, and you don't need to pay for that. And it was very nice. The conversation was really great. But I did suggest to him to make sure that he does submit proofs with people so that everybody is on the same page. But the other piece of that is when you feel like you're doing something nice for someone and you're doing them a favor, it's not actually a good favor for you or for them. And so it's better to make sure that everybody is paying for something, or if you're doing a favor that they know it's a favor, whatever. Like, you shouldn't in your mind be giving somebody a discount and
And
then
not
thinking that
telling.
they owe
That's
you
got to be
something.
clear. Yeah. It's got to
Yes.
be
And
clear.
then in your mind, you feel always like you gave something to them and they cheated you. And in their mind, they don't even know. So,
You create a resentment loop that no one else even knows about.
right. So it was a really big, awkward experience, but what it really came down to was clear communication and the lack of that. And it all could have been avoided if there was just something written down that we all signed and we agreed to.
I like contracts. I mean, they've been around since the Old Testament times. I have no problem with contracts at all. I think contracts are a great thing to have. When we send out estimates for the floor store, after the customer approves, before they can pay on the invoice, there's a whole contract that they have to sign. We had a customer who we clearly communicate, it was a hardwood refinish. I actually just shared the story the other day because I'm going through a couple hardwood refinishes. And I said, listen, we put down test samples. Our guy will sand the entire floor. He does everything he's supposed to do. Plastic wraps everything, does everything to protect your house. Dustless is just less dust. Nothing's perfect, right? And so, but before he stains your floor, he's going to put 4 samples down in the rough color family that you're looking at, because some people want like really dark, or some people want like a more natural. And so they'll put 4 swatches down on their floor so they can kind of choose from these 4 things, right? Because it's wood, it's a natural canvas. It takes the stain differently. And so this couple, they got the first sample down and they're like, nope, that's it. And he goes, no, I really need to put the rest of this down so you can kind of like compare and contrast. He's like, I feel better about that. So nope, that's it. Don't waste any time. Go, get it done. Right. And so he puts it down. He gets all the way he's done. I mean, he has the clear coat on. Like, he is done. There is no turning back. We hate the color. We got to charge you he's got to go back and literally do the job all over again. And we have to charge you again. Like, we can't not recharge you. He has to do the exact same amount of work over again. And so that's just us being clear. So it can go both ways. The customer can not understand that clear communication, because I don't think it gets more clear than, we're putting this down. It's for your protection. We want you to love the color.
Yeah.
So you gotta make sure you're clear. And that goes to the proofs. If any of you guys out there own your company or are going to get vehicles lettered, I lettered a lot of vehicles in my time. I wouldn't do it without a proof. I literally, if they tried to come to me with that, I would say, okay, I am going to another company then, because I have to have proof of concept. I need to know that this is going to look like I envisioned or close to I envisioned.
Yeah. Well, that was our lesson too. Like we took, and when I talked to him yesterday, I said, we own that part. And, like I want you to get paid for your work. And if you want to do the job again, with this understanding that we have a proof. And he said, well, it turns out that I don't actually do the kind of wrap that you guys are interested in. And I think it would be good for you to take it somewhere else. But he's still going to do the lettering on our building and things like that as tenants move in and out. And so we still, it turned out really fine in the end, but it was really hard and didn't feel good. It was not a nice conflict with another business, and it really could have been avoided. And I mean, there's another example. I had a woman that came and cleaned our house for a little bit, and she just said, this is the price, and she's going to clean the house. Well, there's things that she didn't do that I thought every cleaner should do, like empty the trash. She just doesn't empty the trashes. That's not part of the things that she does. But in my mind, I feel like, why would you not empty the trashes if you're going to clean? Right. So now we have just engaged with a cleaning company to clean the office building for everybody. And she gave a contract of exactly what's covered. what you have to pay if you cancel, how much time they need ahead of time if you're going to cancel, all the things. So that makes me feel really safe, because if I need to cancel, then I know, okay, I'm not going to hurt her feelings. I'm just going to pay her the cancellation fee.
Right.
But I know that she has a cancellation fee. I know all the things she's going to clean, how she's going to clean it, what we can expect, and what I'm getting for my money. So there's no feelings involved in it. Like, you don't have to get your feelings hurt because you know what to expect. So definitely some lessons in that.
I also think there's a lesson in the way the vinyl guy handled that, right? So he was in over his head. And instead of having clear expectations for himself and for his customers, he was going outside of the realm of what he was capable of doing, and didn't have a clear communication of that, right? And so how many of us in the service world do stuff like that? Oh yeah, I can work on those fancy ranges, that's no problem. And then you have no clue what you're doing, right? You don't know where to get the tech manuals, you don't know where to get help, you don't know where to get parts, right? Like you're in over your head, and you don't clearly communicate that. That sets a poor expectation for the customer, right?
I mean, Joe has done a lot of different appliances over 3 decades of doing this, but I literally heard him recently say to somebody, I've never looked at that thing before. I've never done this one thing, whatever it was. I haven't worked on this exact thing before, so I'm not afraid to try and look at it. I will look at it, but if I can't figure it out, I might not be able to figure it out, which doesn't happen very often, but it can. And so, like, that honesty goes a long way, saying, hey, I'm willing to try, but I've never done this before, so we can work together.
And that gives them the opportunity to either call another company or back out at that point, depending on their risk tolerance, right? Like, how far do they want to go? And I guess that's where my point was going. Let's be clear with that communication. I've never worked on this before. I'm willing to attempt it. I'm a technician and I understand, how to be a technician, right? This is just different systems. So let me look at it and try it or not, either way. No harm, no foul. And so I think if you set those clear expectations, that works out really well.
We can work on your dishwasher, but your floor guy put in your floor after your dishwasher, and we're going to ruin your floor when we pull it out. Like, it's going to happen. So those kind of things. I mean, there's a lot of things that people do in this industry that could harm something else in somebody's kitchen or laundry room or whatever when they're trying to get to the appliance. And even those waivers, so important. Have somebody sign a waiver and explain to them what could happen. And maybe it doesn't happen, but you're covered if it does.
Yep. And then, so our internal customers, right? Our employees, I think as we're wrapping up, it's so important to have clear communication and expectations with them as well, right? So clearly communicating what duties we want them to do, clearly communicating how we want them to go out into the community and serve the community is so important, right? And so how what's up, Miss Ward? How have you guys, you have 2 younger and newer employees, how have you clearly communicated those expectations of what they are to serve their customers with, your end users?
So, well, we have our mission and vision hanging in our office, and we literally read it at every team meeting that we have out loud. And so that communicates what we stand for and what we expect to deliver to our customers, and that we treat our customers the way we would treat the people we love most. But we also just kind of instituted something new for the new year and improved our meeting cadence. We now have a monthly breakfast meeting with Joe and our technician, and monthly dinner meeting with myself and Shelby, just to kind of touch base. And then we also have our employee handbook, and we started now touching on a section of the employee handbook at each monthly meeting, so that we're kind of resurrecting it, reminding us all what's expected. But like, attendance, lateness, what happens if you're going to not show up or be late, or when you have an emergency. Those are important things to know so that when it is an emergency, you know how to handle it and you know what's going to happen. So I think that has really helped, just having regular meetings and then talking about what the policies are instead of just giving them a policy that they forget about.
That's awesome. Yeah, keep it in front of their faces, right? And that's good for you too as the owner, because I was chatting with EJ about this the other day. I said, like, our vision statement is the long term. Our vision statement is that we want to be here in 10 years, right? And our mission statement, and I think Doug and I talked about that on our morning grind as well. Our mission statement is more short term. Our mission statement is more, this is maybe 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, right? Like, this is the short term kind of thing. And so having these things in front of your face, is this mission statement serving this vision statement? Am I living up to both of these statements as we process along? It keeps it top of mind for yourself, right? And so it is so important to have that in front of your face so that you can make those pivots, so that you can make those adjustments, because it may become that your mission and your vision aren't clear anymore, and you kind of need to filter through that and
change
get
them or refresh
right.
them or whatever. But yeah, I mean, we have the poster says our mission, our vision, and then our 4 value pillars. And like so what we stand for as a company is front and center in our office. So they see that every day when they're in here, but we also talk about it. And like, just as you know, I know we're coming down to the end of our session, but one thing we recently talked about was, as we're heading in preparing for ASTI coming up in the next couple months, a lot of people are getting ready to send their team members there with them, and it might be the first time somebody goes. And one of the things that we've clarified, because we're not taking our team to ASTI, but we are taking our team to PSA because it's only a couple hours away from our office. We expect them to come there with a spirit of learning and not a spirit of partying.
That's awesome.
You can have a couple cocktails and network and hang out, but we're not there to party. We're there to learn, and we want to be professionals. And so having those conversations ahead of time, I think, is really important if you're getting ready to send your people to ASTI for the first time, because there is a lot of partying, but that's not what we're investing in ASTI for. Like, we do want to have fun and we do want to make friends, but we're coming there as a business and as professionals to learn and bring something back to the team to share. So I don't know if that's important to you. If you want to go there and party and you want your team to go there and party, that's fine. But if you don't, you really should let them know ahead of time, because there is a lot of partying that happens.
For sure. And I got a surprise for everyone as Jenny's getting ready to hop off. Miss Ward in the house.
Good morning. You're not in your truck today, Miss Ward.
Oh, I'm not. I'm really not, child. That's because I got a customer that is doing luxury tax on me. She's like, I don't want to be pressured, so I'm available at 10. I'm like, lady, I need to do this and go. But
well, we just talked about customer expectations, so you'll have to let her know that she's not special next time.
Miss Ward is the queen of customer expectations. She's got that unlocked. That's why I wanted to bring her up as you were heading out, Jenny, just to kind of solidify everything that we've already talked about. So,
well, that's awesome. So let me give you a high five on my way out. I hope you guys have a great rest of the grind, and I am headed off to a meeting. So God bless you all, and thanks for having me on here.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, Jenny. We'll see you next time.
Take it easy. Bye.
Bye. All right, Miss Ward. I almost never get to go on with you, so it's kind of fun to be able to bring you up.
Hey, well, at the end of the day, you guys are the foundation, elevating the industry, and I'm just happy to be a part. So anytime I can be supportive, I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna make it happen.
We appreciate it. Well, we were rocking the boat last night in the Appliance Alliance group. We put up trying to get to 1,000 subscribers because we've been so dang close. We get right to that point, and then it kind of tapers off, and then we get right to that point and tapers off. And there's some people who just have kind of been oblivious to the fact that everything branded on the website says Service Alliance Group, and they're like, kick that guy out of the group. We run the group like it's our group. We're not going to kick ourselves out. So,
hey, you know how it is. Everyone is living in a bubble. You know, we have the luxury of being in America, and we have so many luxuries. We can go around aimlessly in life and be protected, but getting ready to be interesting. That's why we got to get out here and get these bags, boo.
Oh yeah. Well, and customer, the clarity, like the topic that we're talking about today, just being super clear and transparent with your customers, that's becoming more and more important than it ever was before, right? What has been your experience? Because I know you are the queen of this. You set these expectations with the customer. So, like, what has been your key to success in setting the expectations so that your customers know when they get the Miss Ward experience, this is what it is front to back?
Well, you know, first of all, when I initially got in the industry, I have such a strong sales background. You follow me? That intuition of just listening to what the customer needs and wants, and gathering that data so I can walk in with an experience, whether I'm in Alabama, Naples, Hilton Head, South Carolina. You know, the appliances are the same, and people just want to be treated with respect, but they want you to communicate. You know, I think one of the things that people drop the ball on in the industry is setting the expectation by communicating immediately and being on top of that, because you control the narrative. When you control the narrative, if you're giving them updates on parts, like let me tell you, people have drama in their lives. The last thing they want to worry about is the tech going to show up? How far is the tech? I got a window of 12 to 2. When are they exactly going to be here? So just being respectful of the time, because then it's reciprocated. When you set those expectations, you have a mutual respect, and you actually knock everybody else out the water, because all of my competition is like dragging. Like literally, like I was telling someone, there's no way I should be able to come in certain areas and do what I do.
Right.
But I'm able to do it because people have such poor experiences.
Right.
And I'm looking like a superstar just by treating people like a human being and coming up clean, communicating, having first time completes, gathering information like a professional, like I know what I'm doing, asking the right questions.
You know, one of the things that I found in any industry that sets you above and beyond, because people just suck at this for whatever reason, is literally just communicating. Like, just answering the phone, just responding to the email, just responding to the Facebook message. I'm going to give away a secret, but so we get more jobs because I communicate, right? Like I get the estimate out. I go out, me and my tile guy, well, he's on his way out the door, unfortunately. It's been a blast working with him, but we had such a good rhythm of communication that we could service customers well, and we would get more jobs because people just wouldn't call people back, right? My secret to communication is, if I'm ghosting you, there's probably good reason. I gave you plenty of warning ahead of time, and now that communication cut off. There's probably a darn good reason that I spelled out to you along the way, and you didn't see that clear communication coming. Like, these are my expectations. These are what you can expect of me, right? These are what your expectations should be. And if we're not in alignment, you need to find someone else. And if that isn't clear enough, those expectations aren't clear enough, I'm not communicating back. I'm not playing games, you know? And so for our service industry, answer those Facebook messages, answer those phone calls, right? And if you're the one-man show, I think Doug and I talked about it the other day, get that AI, whatever, get an answering service, get a combination of both. It doesn't matter. Get someone to answer those messages so that you can continue to serve your customers at a high level. And I think that's one of the things that you've done really well. as well is you answer those calls and you make it clear, yes, this is what I service. No, this isn't what I service, right? Like,
True, true. And the other thing though is that I like being a one-stop shop. And when I say that, I get so many calls because of my five-star reviews. And I like to have people I can refer them to. This is the sad part though, is when you're referring people to people, customers that you can't, like right now, I'm booked out probably 8 weeks minimum. You feel me?
mhm,
So I'm sending people, and these are all my clients are of a certain clientele, which is how I structured my business. You send them to people and they drop the ball. They don't provide the same service. I've had customers call me back and say, I'm just going to wait 3 months on you. You
mhm,
know how that makes my heart drop? Because now I'm in 2024 and I got to be Cat Williams, the year of the
right.
reckoning. Like I'm just not communicating. I'm not referring, customers. I'm just going to be like, you know what, ma'am? Unfortunately, I can't refer you.
Yeah. Well, and so we actually just talked about that at our contractor breakfast the other day. We have a leave behind. I have 2 plumbers on there. I have 2 painters on there. If I had 2 cleaning services, I put 2 cleaning services on there, right? I like to give people options because that puts the ball in their court. So it's not tied to me. The expectations are clear. Listen, I've worked with both of these custom companies before. I've had great experiences with both of them. My customers have had that does not necessarily mean you will have a great experience with one or the other. And so I would like you to contact either and figure out which one is the best fit for you. So having, especially in the service industry, you guys are in and out of houses all the time, just like I'm in and out of houses all the time. We're all in the service industry together, just different stages of it, right? And so having I got a guy, right? I got a girl. Like I got someone to refer you to. Here's a list of approved vendors and contractors and stuff that I have experience. Go vet them yourself. I've had good experience. Now you go vet them so that you can have the best experience possible, right? I think that's so important. Do you have a list of like multiple contractors or no? You're just like, eh,
No, I do have a list, and the list starts with my roundtable because I feed
hmm,
the people that I have relationships with. If they run into an issue, sometimes with a customer that might be a little eccentric, that I know they'll reach back, or if they run into something, they know if it's coming to me. I mean, coming from me, they're dealing with a certain caliber client.
yep.
You follow me, and what the expectation is. So I generally do that. And then I have plumbers because, when we're in the trades, we know all the best people. Like the
Hmm,
guys who are good at what they do, we know all the good plumbers, the good electricians. We know those guys already. So we already have relationships.
hmm.
So that's what I use.
Yeah, and I'm in BNI and I have
Mhm.
that same caliber of stuff. I have the people that I know, like, and trust. I got an appliance guy in one of my groups, and it's not that I don't like the guy, but I know his level of expertise. Now I have someone else in my fold, Victor Figueroa in Chicago. He's over in Joe Maida's old territory. I feed more business his direction because I know, like, and trust him. I know what his caliber of experience is, and I know that I can send him work, and I know that I'm not going to hear about it, right? And so there's a lot to be said about, who's in that stable and who you're referring. So again, clear communication. You can contact any of them. It's on you to vet them beyond this point. I know the best. I've had good luck with them, but you got to vet them. So I love it. I love it.
Facts.
What else you got for us this Friday, Miss Ward?
Well, let me tell y'all something. It's 12 days into the year. Don't act
Mm-hmm.
crazy. Get
Mm-hmm.
it together. You better reflect on the last. Look, the first 10 days is momentum. The 10 days coming out of 2023, rolling into 2024, momentum should have been back. I mean, you should have hit the ground running. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I ain't trying to be funny, but I just don't understand when people tell me they're slow. I don't understand because you should be feeding yourself from multiple platforms and multiple
Yep.
experiences to the point you can't, till you gotta like do I need to add somebody else?
Yep.
If you ain't always at that, do I need to add somebody else? Because most people I know, they streamline their business till they have to add somebody. Because me, I'm greedy. Like I need my profit. I ain't trying to share nothing unless I have to.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then I have my subcontractors, and then they better have it together.
Right.
So
I love it. I do want to share because it's made the rounds in our smaller group. I think I'm going to share that No Limits YouTube link in the comments here. So if you're still hanging on with us at this point, you kind of need to go and watch this YouTube video. I can't even summarize it. I wouldn't even be doing this guy justice with the knowledge that he dropped. It was absolute fire. This man, oh my gosh, go watch this No Limits video. The link is in the YouTube comments. How did you find that? Like, how did you, because you're the one that sent that through the group. So where did that come from?
are you referring to Myron Golden?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Myron Golden is is a legend. And I've known about Myron Golden for at least 2-3 years because there are other people from other groups. He's kind of like the secret weapon because this guy was behind the scenes coaching some of the biggest people in any industry. Like this guy's hooked up with the guy from ClickFunnels, like all those guys, and he was the guy in the background.
Okay.
You follow me? Helping people break those boundaries, and he's Bible based.
Yeah,
And he's not ashamed of it, and everything comes out of it. And this is a guy that came from nothing, and he's not, he's an everyday dude.
Yeah.
And all that knowledge and wisdom, and he's truly a servant of the people.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I was listening to that on my ride yesterday, into a meeting, and I was just like, I've heard the name before, but I hadn't gone down the rabbit hole with his content before, and so that was just like worth the watch.
Yeah, but I want to do a little correction because I think that might have actually came from TK.
Oh, okay. All right.
You know what I'm saying? I just want to give credit what credit's due because TK has been dropping that a lot in our stuff because he's just discovered them and he's on fire. Because like I said, the guy is not only inspirational, and that's why I always tell people you have to find the mentors who speak to you. This guy, he speaks to so many people because he gives away so much free game that the only problem, like he give you enough game that if you don't get off the ground for free, then it's really you.
Right. Yeah, no, I love what he, and I think you and TK were talking about this a little bit yesterday with walking in with that confidence. And prior to seeing you guys's video, I was having that same conversation with my plumber. He's going into a commercial contract. He's going into a restaurant, and he's like, man, I just don't know. I don't know how we're going to make this profitable. And we're sitting down at lunch, and I'm sitting with him and his business partner. And I said, look, the plumbing is the plumbing. The pipes that you have to replace, the install, that's one animal, right? Like that is one piece. And you need to have the confidence that this is service side. This is installation. This is entirely separate of our contract. The water conditioning, the salt, the filtration system, that stuff is entirely separate. And you have to treat them separate. And you have to walk in with that confidence. Clearly, the company before didn't know what they were doing because you shouldn't be in this situation right now. We're going to correct that. Here's how much it's going to cost to do the corrections that you'll be able to have. And here's how much it's going to cost to continue with our service going forward. We're going to put some bypasses in so that, after all is said and done, if you decide after 2 years of our contract, you're no longer happy, right? And that was the other thing I told them. Get a 2-year contract, right? They want to know, especially with a restaurant, they want to know that you're going to be here and you're going to be able to do something. So get a clear contract for that. But after a 2-year contract, if you're no longer happy, put the bypass. We take our equipment that you've been leasing from us back, and you can have another company come in. They can hook up their system. Everything's there. So you got to treat the two pieces separate. And he's like, I didn't think about that. Like, I was just so overwhelmed at this big thing. And I'm like, you got to walk in with that confidence. You got to understand how to work with them. And they went in, and I got a message back like, okay, they seem like they're right on board. Like they were like, okay, send everything across. We're ready to go. Like, as fast as we can go. Let's go. And I went, see, it's that level of confidence. It's that clarity. It's that we are doing this, and this is in this world. We are doing this, and this is in this world. Here you go. If you have that confidence, you have that clarity, like Myron was sharing, you walk in with that swagger, is what it is. They like it or they don't. And next, right? What's next? So what? What's next? Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But I love.
Yeah, that's so true though, because I mean, that's just so true because I think one of the biggest things people fail is that they sell from their limited experiences and limited pockets.
They
And
sell
they
from
don't,
their pocketbook, not the customers.
yeah, and
Yep.
but that's that mindset, man. Like it's a whole, I mean, you go and people because if you don't believe in a product, you can't sell it. If you don't believe in yourself, if you don't have the training, and that's why one of my biggest things I push is training. You can't sell a job if you're not confident it's going to fix the unit. And if you don't understand theory and the basic and how stuff works, like, come on, people. Appliances have been the same for the last 900 years. The theory and the way they flow, they just put a couple of computer boards and sensors in to communicate to the board, tell the logic and the relays what to do. But if you remove the board and put the mechanical pieces back in, you still got the same product. And I feel like as unfortunately with the human condition, the drama and the mental non-clarity clouds so many things. I call it self-induced adversity. That is my phrase. Self-induced adversity. I see it all the time. I just walk away because 2024, I can't help you, man. I can't. I can't.
Yeah, there's definitely something to be said about getting clear on your side, right? If you're not clear on what you want, what your expectations are, what your reality is, then
Mhm.
no one else can be, right? And it makes it really hard to work with you. And there's a reason why certain people with those certain frequencies, we vibrate together, because I'm clear in what I want. Miss Ward is clear in what she wants, right? My tile setter's clear in what he wants. And so like we vibrate on these frequencies, and we get attracted to that, and we repel those that aren't on that same frequency because they're not clear. They're not clear.
But Zach, speak to the fact of how you have been able to move into an industry and basically dominate, and how your health, your mental clarity, just your alignment in your life has affected that. I think that's
Well,
what's important.
I mean, sales is sales, baby. Like I I one of the things that worked for me so well in the appliance repair is that I could sell myself. I could sell ice to an Eskimo, right? Like that's just how it rolls. And so once I mastered, and this is one moment I'm grateful for ADHD, right? Like, okay, I'm going to spend 6 months, I'm going to learn this. Cool. Now I'm going to go run circles around guys that have been doing this for 20 years because I have the intricate knowledge. I took the time to go and get on my knees and to be, the one banging the hammer and doing the work, right? To understand the ins and outs and the things that make things go well, make things not go well, right? Cool. Now I can intelligently sell to a customer products based on what they need at that specific time, right? And so if we boil it down, I set the clear expectations to the customers. I don't got x-ray vision. I'm going to base this on what we can see without tearing this floor up. You want to go further? There's a charge for us to go further and tear it up to kind of figure out what we're going to deal with. But the reality is, just write it in the contract. If we need to do a change order down the road, we do that. So clear communication, right? Number one, clear communication. Showing up and being there when you say you're going to be there, right? Like, you get that phone call, and I said that earlier, you get the phone call, you get the message, you get the whatever, get out there, answer it, do it, get it done. Showing up already puts you head and shoulders above everyone else. It puts you in that top what, 5% if you just show up. Okay. So the other piece of this, and this works for you in the appliance repair side of things. If you're in the appliance repair, if you're in the electrical, you're in the plumbing, it doesn't matter. Floor sales, roofing sales, it's all service. It's all sales. You are salespeople, right? Sales is not a dirty word. And I beat on this before, but I'll beat on it again because Miss Ward got me preaching this morning. You are a salesperson. You are selling your service. You are selling your expertise. Sell it. Be confident in what you have. Be clear in what you have, right? And so I'm able to go into a totally different industry, into the flooring industry, and I walk in and I got the swagger, I got the confidence, but I back it up with knowledge. And if I don't know it, the typical is, you know what, you hear that hem hawing, that, well, I don't know. No, you're not going to hear that coming on me. You know what? I don't have the answer to that question, but I'll tell you what I'm going to do. You're going to have the answer to that question because I'm going to go and find the answer to that question. And then I will get back to you with that. No problem. It's a very different thing than, I'm not sure. I guess I can go and research that. Who are you going to buy from? You're going to buy from the guy that's like, you know what? I haven't run into that before. I'm going to go research the answer and I'm going to make sure that you have the answer to that. We're both going to learn this together. You're going to buy from that second guy, right? And so that's allowed me to push beyond it. And it always allowed me to push beyond it. In appliance repair, that's what allowed me to do LG compressors when a lot of guys in my area weren't doing it. Once I got the confidence to do it, once I learned how to do it appropriately, bam, let's go, right? Like I could sell it, no problem. The converse is also true, because if I didn't believe in a repair, I wasn't selling the repair. I hated VMWs. And those of you out there that my boy Taz, he loved them VMWs until I went, okay, but you keep having problems with them. And we went through all the problems that he was having with them. And all of a sudden he didn't have the confidence in that repair. And I go, now you're where I am. I don't have the confidence in this VMW. I know that the customer is better off just going to buy a new one. It sucks, but go buy something else, right? And if you walk in with that knowledge and that expertise, no matter what field you're in, you're head and shoulders above everyone else. Always. Right. And I guess that's a brief summary of kind of what Myron was talking about. Like, I'm going to sell this for this money. You like it or you don't. It's not going to bother me one way or the other because my pipeline's full. I'm moving on to the next one. One of my mentors, and I kind of alluded to it earlier, but one of his phrases, he's the guy that shared with me, Gitmo, good enough to move on, right? How do we get something to a point where it's good enough? We got that 80%. Who cares about the 20%? Let's go. He follows that up with, so what? What's next? So when things go wrong, so what? What's next? I'm not the you're not the customer for me. So what? Who's next? Right? Like you can take that so what, what's next and turn it into so what, who's next, and keep moving on, right? Don't get yourself bogged down by, oh man, this customer didn't like me and okay. Not everyone's going to like you, and that's okay. It's all right. Don't worry about it. As long as you are clear in who you are, clear in what your company is, then you can stand on it. They don't like you. That's on them. That's fine. So what? Who's next? Right? And that's how I mean, those are my couple keys to success. I feel like those are your keys to success as well, right? Like I might say it a little bit differently, but I think the basics are there.
Yep. Know your avatar. And I mean, come on, it's 2024. I don't understand, man. I just look, I just talked to my better half and I was like, okay, every 3 months we have to take a week vacation. Every 3 months. I'm going to grind. So you got to work that out because with you or without you, I'm going. And I'm going to be on somebody's boat somewhere.
Love it. Love it. Yeah, you got to just make your expectations clear, make your goals clear. If you haven't set your goals for this year, you're 2 months behind the 8 ball. Let's go. Get going.
In
But
fact, mhm. In
today's
fact,
a
I
new
can't
day.
wait. Hey, in fact, I can't wait on you. How about that?
Right.
Leave them right there. Holla.
Right. Get it, but it's not too late. So if you haven't done it, you're late, but it's not too late, right? Like, shut up and get it done. Sit your butt down, get some stuff on paper, and let's go. Right? There's no excuse. Let's get clear on who we are. Let's get clear on who we want to work with. Let's get clear on what we want from our employees, our subcontractors, our community, and let's get out there and do it. Time to rock and roll. Oh, well, thanks for joining me.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Anytime.
I appreciate you popping on. You got a little bit of preaching out of me. I felt like I did more talking today. You
they say
twisted
that's
that one
my
around.
gift, man. When I'm interviewing people, they say that's my gift, that people just talk.
Usually it's the other way around, though. I'm usually the one getting everyone else to talk. So that was fun for once. All right, guys, get out there, serve your customers well, love your people well, and we will see you next week on the Morning Grind. Have a good week, everyone.